Welcome to the LEGO Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Dylan, and this is my wife and co-host, Alexa. She took last week off, and we also had some technical difficulties with last week's episode. I run all of this off of my phone and edit everything on my phone, and last week my phone broke. So I lost the video footage, but you can still find that on Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, whatever you use to find podcasts. You can find that audio version on there. I had a special guest, my coworker Duncan, and fellow brother Ironworker was on there, and it was real fun. It was a great time. And this week we're going to do a little bit different build. I was in the middle of building a MOC out of the Dom Charger Technic set from Fast and the Furious. This is going to be a Cobra Mustang, and it was in the form of a Batmobile that I had originally done with that as a MOC, and I turned the Dom Charger to the Batmobile, now the Batmobile into this Mustang. And after this, down the line, there will be a Porsche build, Porsche 911 as well, out of this same set. So if you use Rebrickable, you can get a lot of your sets you can make 3 to 4, 5 different vehicles or sets out of. So it's a really good resource to continue to build and save money while doing it. You can get the instructions that they make these sets and design them, and then make the instructions and all that hard work. You pay a few $5, $6, $18 at the most, and you get all these instructions to all these unique builds and custom designs. It's really cool. This one is a 2-piece build. This is the chassis right here. It's already a little bit better than the Batmobile. The suspension is pretty good. It's got the engine, it's got an 8-cylinder, the motor, so when the drivetrain is running, you got the gearbox in the back. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's right behind these. I'll take that off. Yeah, there you go.
I think those are cool.
Got the gearbox right there.
The blue things, what are those?
Nitrous oxide bottles.
Oh, okay.
So nitrous system.
Yeah.
And then this rear end is really unique. I like the way, you see how the front, you just push it down, right? Normal suspension, up and down.
Uh-huh.
But this rear end, you see the angle of the suspension here? It travels differently, so it pivots. Better cornering.
So it can do
So when you hit a corner...
more off-road?
No, lean.
Lean.
Gives it more lean.
Okay.
Yeah. So the front goes down, so it doesn't actually gives you a lot of lean. You don't want lean. But the back absorbs it. It doesn't go down. Mm-hmm. It goes down a little bit, but it goes sideways.
Oh, okay. I see that.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty cool design.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we're going to build the body section of this set. And I will put a link to the Rebrickable instructions down below. Let's get into it. So I actually started on the body a little bit. I think this is the back window and the trunk and the roof line. And let's see, where were we at? So what did you have anything in mind? You said you had something unique happen this week you wanted to talk about?
Oh, yeah. So this weird thing, it never happened to me ever. So starting Thursday, I saw the number 222, which is an angel number.
Oh, really?
Anytime you see the same number 3 times in a row, 111, and then so forth, I think it goes all the way to 9. It's considered an angel number, and each set of numbers means something different.
Oh, really? So is there a way to find out what it meant?
Yeah, you Google it, but I just
Did
haven't.
You?
No, I have. I mean, I have, but not all of them.
Seems like something you would do.
Yeah, so it's numerology. I'm not super into God, I can't talk. Numerology that much, but I do like the idea that these angels numbers mean something positive.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so Thursday I saw the 222, and then Friday I saw 444, And then Saturday, I saw 2222, the 3 and the 4.
Whoa.
And then today was 222, 111, and 333. So it's like,
You keep seeing them regularly
yeah, like
this whole week?
This has never happened to me ever in my life. Like, I have a friend this happens to her every day. It's like normal for her.
That's so weird.
But this has never happened to me, and it's now been happening since Saturday. It didn't happen on Sunday.
Wow.
So I'm like,
I've never had that. I mean, so one number.
I mean, you just have to look at, I mean, it's just, you can look at the clock at the right time, or you can just like my temperature in my car. Today said it was 111, so 111 degrees.
Whoa.
But that still can be considered, like, you saw the set of numbers, so it's an angel number.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I see a lot?
What?
I had a friend in high school. I didn't know him too well, but I knew I was friends with a lot of people that knew him, and I knew of him and stuff. Mm-hmm. But he died on a motorcycle, on a street bike, partying and stuff. Sad story. But his motorcycle, like, he rode dirt bikes, and his MX number was 821. And I see that
821. What
yeah,
is that?
821. That was his race number.
Oh, and you see it all the time.
Yeah,
That's
still,
weird.
Like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Still see it all the time. Like 12 years ago, 13 years ago.
That's crazy.
Yep. And I'll still see it up to like last week or the week before. I'll catch it on a phone. It's always a clock, but I'll always be like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
I'll see that number.
Right.
How do I keep running in this time?
Right. I mean, I don't know too much about like numerology, like I said. So like maybe like if a set of numbers means something to you and you see it, it could mean something.
Right.
Like maybe that means like he's
That's the
watching over
impact.
you.
Yeah, I used to rep his. We made decals, and it had angel wings.
Yeah.
And it had his number in the center, and I used to rep that on my old truck.
Cute.
Yeah.
So I just like, yeah, I don't know. I know all the set of numbers mean something positive, but I can't always, like, I remember a lot of stuff about astrology, but I can't remember what each set of numbers means all the time. So I always have to Google it when I see it. I'm like, oh, what does this one mean again? Like, I don't know. But, I asked Ashley, because she's the one that sees it every day. Like, it's a normal thing for her.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, that's so weird. Maybe that means your baby's coming soon.
Of course.
I mean, when she's due next week, so she better be coming soon.
And it's a good omens. Right?
Yeah.
Baby's on the way.
So, I don't know, maybe it's like my birth is going to be okay. Like, maybe it just means, like, I read this morning that 333 means that everything's aligned in your life.
Oh.
And, like, your communication and dedication to your relationship is aligned with your life. So, like, things are going well.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, oh.
That's good. That's a really good sign.
Yeah, I have.
That give you comfort?
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
And then 222, I forgot what that one was this morning. But yeah, I would just have to like read into it and see what they mean. But yeah, it's just weird that it's been happening like so many days in a row.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
Another thing that's new, how do you like your new glasses?
Oh, I love them. Thank you, babe.
You're welcome. It's
It
stupid
took me
how long that took to get
like
those.
a month, over a month.
5.5 weeks.
Yeah.
This is the 6th week.
Yeah, I know.
I ordered them on Tuesday.
And then
so.
the girl had the nerve to tell me I came early today. I'm like, oh no, I'm not early. It's a month late.
She said you came early?
Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't call you unless they're ready.
Right.
Yeah, they called you, tell you, hey, they're ready. And then you came even like a few hours.
No. Like this morning when I first went.
Oh.
Yeah. No, because I came in like, 10-ish this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, looks like you're a little early. I'm like, no, I'm not early. The glasses are late. They were supposed to be here a month ago.
Yeah, put them in their place. I told her we'd quit. We would go find them somewhere else.
And then they came back like 2 hours later and then they were there. But so that's what she meant by early. But it like...
Still.
It like... I was like, oh no, I'm not early. You guys are late.
You got to put them in their place.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous how long it took to get those glasses.
Well, the same thing happened to your glasses too.
No, nowhere near as bad.
No.
Yours were way worse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mine just ended up another week. You know,
Uh-oh.
big deal, okay?
Yeah.
So instead of a week and a half, it turned into 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yours were double that.
Yeah, true. But I like them. When I first put them on, they were weird for me because the glasses I have worn for like 7 years have been by this company called Zenny. My stepmom actually told me about them. And it's like you can buy any pair of glasses for like up to like $50. So like no pair of glasses cost more than $50. And I was like, oh, I lost my really nice pair. And she's like, oh, you should just use Zenny. So if you lose a pair, it's like whatever. That was like $20. And then so that's all I've been using for like this whole time. And they're not like the best quality. And then I put these on and it was like weird for me.
Right.
But it took like what? Like an hour maybe?
Yeah,
For me
they adjusted.
for
And
my
you
eyes
just
to-
came straight out of contacts, too.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What'd you think about it's nice when they transition, huh? Mm-hmm. You don't need to switch, so you're more likely to wear them.
Yeah.
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 And you need sunglasses, so might as well have your glasses on.
Right. I do like them a lot. And the frames like fit my face.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
Your other one's not so.
I mean, they're all scratched up.
All right.
So those are just going to be my raggedy ones.
It does suck when you lose a pair,
Yeah.
especially if you lose them. I lost my first pair. Yeah. They weren't my first pair. I had a pair years ago. Then I went like 4 years without them.
Oh my
But-
God.
Yeah, it sucked because
See, I
had
can't
to
even
wait.
function.
I had them like 8 months, but you can only go every 18 months.
Yeah.
I had to go a while without them. Or you're going to pay full price.
Yeah, that does suck.
Mm-hmm. They're still expensive with the insurance.
Right. Yeah, that was the other reason when I used like cheap glasses because I had insurance when I lived in Florida until I turned 26. But the problem was my insurance wasn't in network with anything in Florida.
Oh, because it was Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota, Wisconsin. So it's like I was so far away from the Midwest that nothing was in network. So I had to like fly home for dentist appointments, fly home for anything. But like,
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Talk about a long trip to the dentist.
I know, right? And I did. Like, I would just come home, like, as often as I could, but I would especially come home, like, every 6 months, because every 6 months you have to go to the dentist.
Right.
Or, like, once.
Well, that's kind of cool, though, because it's guaranteed you're going to be home.
Right. Yeah, that's
It'd be
true.
nice to see your family every 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. But then if I needed to, like, go to, like, emergency, like, doctor appointment, like, right then and there, then it's like.
Yikes.
It's a bill. So
That's a problem.
That sucked, but whatever. I don't regret it. I'm not gonna not move just because my insurance is not in network.
Yeah. Well, now you have insurance now. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you appreciate like having glasses. I didn't wear glasses for the longest time.
Yeah.
And appreciate it a lot more.
Right. And you have nice ones.
Yeah, they're very comfortable.
And like the thing about glasses is like it changes how someone looks. Like you can have glasses that do not look good on you.
Yeah.
And you look like a complete like nerd, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. And my last ones, even those ones look good. They had a different style, but they hurt because they had the name. They had Ray-Ban like.
Those were cute though, but I like these way better.
So at the very tip of the arm, it had Ray-Ban on this little piece of rubber,
and it like imprinted your head.
Yeah, over hours without even wearing like headphones on it.
They didn't think that design through.
No, and it was cool that the pad was there, but the stitch you could feel it was like
you can feel it. Yeah,
it was. You could feel it. It wasn't flat.
I know what that's like because like my last pair of designer glasses before I ruined them, the arms were metal. So they like really like pressed like against my head and that wasn't comfy, but they were like red and I love red and like
yeah, you do.
But I was just so exhausted one night and I just fell asleep with my glasses on and rolled over them, and that's how they broke.
Damn.
I know. So now, ever since then, luckily I learned from my mistakes. I always make sure they're like on a nightstand or like in the bathroom, like not in the bed.
I had carbon fiber ones for that reason, but this time around I was like, well, I'll just have to be careful.
Yeah, you really have to.
It's whatever.
So, but yeah, I think the way glasses are shaped to your face and the style of glasses can really change your image, like how you look. Like these glasses fit your face. And they
have to fit your face.
Yeah, and they look super cute on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just like your correct
Did you want
frame
to know a weird
to
thing?
your face shape really matters.
Do you want to know a weird thing?
What?
These glasses, the name of them is our last name.
Oh yeah, Hallbrook's. They're Oakleys, but the actual style is called Hallbrook, is what he's saying. Yeah.
Cool.
It was cool.
What are the odds?
It was the sign. That's how you knew you had to get them, right?
Yeah, I've actually had pairs of the sunglasses for several pair, a handful, throughout the years. And then these, I didn't know they made prescriptions.
Yeah.
Like, sick.
Right. So, I tried to do this last time, but
Questions?
you constantly pushed the questions on me. So I have a list of questions for you this time. So you can't force the questions back on me.
All right. Question time.
Okay. So this is like a set of questions I found on Instagram, and it's by this handle called Mind Matters. And she's a therapist out of New York City, and I follow a lot of different therapists just because, it's nice to read like daily tips, like how to keep your mental health in check. And this is 18 questions that emotionally deepens your relationship with your partner. Help you understand one other's value, opinions, struggles, and hopes for the future. So the first one is, when have you felt most proud of our relationship?
I would have to say that's a good question. I think, I don't know if I'd say our relationship, but when I was most proud of us, it was like before we were really back into the relationship, when we started talking again.
When you were here and I was in Florida?
Yeah, and when I came to visit you, and that's when I was most proud of, like, it's when the realization of how far we had come.
Yeah.
We were talking about it. We were reminiscing on old times.
Yeah.
Talking about how, like, the changes that in our lives.
Like, just the realization that we have changed drastically.
Yeah, and it was like looking in the mirror, because when we left, we both had issues and we needed to fix. And to see how happy you were and the life that you had made and all the chaos that we left behind.
Yeah.
And to see that you really came to this point and, like, found your own. It was a beautiful thing. And that was really cool. I was proud of you. And
Thanks.
same thing on my side, like the same story. It was the same story. I did the things I said I'd do. I went here, I did this. I now do it over here. And it was just nice to realize. And then as we continued on throughout that, all the way till, present day, like, the difference in the way that we communicate and everything, it's just night and day.
It's like way healthier now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were not good for each other back then. We were just too young and dumb and assholes.
Yeah. We didn't really know, like, how to properly
communicate.
Yeah, we didn't know how to communicate. We didn't really know how to be healthy ourselves.
And each person has personal shit you're trying to get through.
Yeah.
And so we had to grow up.
Yeah.
And, sorry.
No, you're good. That's why, like, so I listened to this girl, Violet Benson. No, you're good. And she says there's only wrong person, not wrong time. And I was like, I don't really know if I fully agree with that, because, like, you were the right person, but it was the wrong time.
I've always believed that. I've always believed there's a right time for everything.
Right.
And even like there's been women in my life for a period, right? Just a small little period of time.
Right.
And it was, every little separation.
Yeah.
There's emptiness for a minute, but there was a realization. Like that woman, it's mainly had to do with when I would leave certain situations. And it's happened a lot. But it's always like, yeah, but we're on to better things. And the way we had the most serious relationship and the way we left, it wasn't the hope of, we have to separate because we're on to better things, how I left most relationships.
Yeah.
Because I was always like, look, I'm travel all the time. If you want to stick around and like be in this extra commitment, cool. But I'm going to do my career with or without you.
Right.
And people don't like to be number two.
No.
And, there's just two. It's not that you're number two. You're obviously number one, but number one has to be the job because the career, the income, the insurance, it supplies for the rest of us. Right. So if we don't have this thing that we're committed to all the way, and you recognize that, you're like, oh, well, I love you no matter what. And I understand that you're not doing it just because it's fun. Like, this is how you provide for us.
Right.
So...
yeah. It's like hard for some people to understand that because when I tell people the way I live, out of the choice to marry you and be in your life, they're like, whoa, I could never do it. Like, how do you do it? You must really love this man. Like, yeah. I mean, like, everything is temporary. Like, I know it's not always gonna be like this, and like, I think it's stupid to be like, oh, I don't want to live like that ever. I don't know if I can ever do it. And then, like, when it's not like that anymore, now you still don't have that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's a greater appreciation.
Yeah.
It's like the glasses. You stuck around with these cheap $5, $10 glasses, $20 glasses, and plastic lenses, cheap, replace some throwaway glasses. It's like going to get your, plus ones at Walmart or dollar store. Now you have real glasses. Yeah. Someone made in a lab.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, this is what seeing's like? Like, whoa.
Right.
Same.
So
you appreciate it way more.
Right, I do. So, next question. What are 5 memories that defined the person that you are? Like, it doesn't have to, I don't like the word define because nothing really defines us, but like, what is 5 memories that make you you?
Well, I'll answer this question, but I like something you said that you didn't like. What do you mean by you don't like the way something that, because you don't think our past defines us? You don't think so?
Okay, well, obviously, like, my past has a great outcome of who I am right now today.
Yeah.
But does it mean that I am that? I'm not that. I am Alexa, but that thing made me, like, the way I think and stuff, but I'm not that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're not your past, but it does define you. Like, so what it's like, if the definition is the literature of what, like, say you're in Alexa Cunningham / Holbrook is in Alexa Ray, you're in there, what do you think? Yeah, but
what I mean is, like,
if that biography of you, it would have all that facts.
Like, for example, like, I had epilepsy as a kid. Most people don't know that about me. I don't talk about it because it's
they do now.
Yeah, but like when I lived in Florida, I made all these friendships. Most of those people didn't know that. Like, only the really close ones knew. But like, I had a big group of like acquaintances because I was constantly like out partying. Like, I was always meeting people like at the taco place, like at the wherever I went, I made a friend. And then it's just like, but they don't know that about me. They see me for what they saw.
It's not about. So the way I'm looking at it is...
Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
I understand. It's you're talking about outward.
Yeah.
I'm talking inward. It does define you as a person.
Yeah.
Because your personality is defined by every action you've taken, every wrong action you've taken, everything that... Like, you're literally the person you are today because of the relationship we had in the past.
Yeah, that's
true. It does define you.
I guess 100%.
So, You have reactions to certain experiences based off of experiences that you have talked about not wanting to share, but that defines you. And every time you're anywhere near that type of thing, you're going to be triggered.
Yeah.
That your past does define you. History is written, like the writing of history, an event, the definition of that event is what defines it. So if you just said America was founded, well, what does that mean without a definition?
True. Like the Betsy Ross flag defines like the first flag of America and what it means to be a true American.
Yeah. Yep. The Constitution is our...
So you're thinking more inward, which is not what I was thinking. I was more thinking like...
Well, when you tell me that question, that's what I thought of. So
Gotcha.
that says a lot about me. I'm always thinking inward. How can I be better?
Yeah.
What defines me as a person? What are things? That's how I would answer that question.
Okay, fair.
So repeat the question one more time. So
Okay.
I'll answer it now. I just thought that was interesting to talk about because...
yeah, for sure. So what are 5 memories that define the person you are? So like, yeah, basically what you're saying.
man, 4 of them are surgeries.
Yeah.
4 of them are surgeries.
Do you care to share that?
Yeah, so I've had surgeries since I had from like 2011 all the way through 2016, or 15. Injury was in 15. Anyways, 2011 to 2016, till recovery, and then more injuries after that. But those were, I had a lateral meniscus tear on my left knee 3 times. Within it, it was tore it, fixed it, recovered, tore it, fixed it, recovered. So every 6 months or so, 6 to 8 months, I was tearing it, recover, surgery, recover, and then a shoulder right on top at the end. But it was still within the same window of 1 year's time between each injury. And each one of those, you would have to rebuild yourself. And anybody that's had a surgery will understand, like, it's a dark time.
Yeah, it is. It's super
dark.
dark.
You're crippled, you're handicapped, you're in the most pain you ever felt. It's you can't work, you can't provide, you're completely
Right, you're not
helpless.
independent.
No.
Yeah.
And depending on the kind of surgery, you can't even walk, or you can't, like my shoulder, I couldn't use my arm. And people had to make sandwiches, like tie my shoes, stuff like that. At least I could wipe my own ass, but it makes you realize, like, I can have to face my shame to the level of where I have to ask help to wipe my ass, and that's, you really know who you are at that point.
Yeah.
You get to the point where you have no pride to where you will ask somebody,
Right.
like, I have to survive. Can you please help me?
Right.
And I didn't have to get that far, and I know people that have been in situations, but that you face that. And then there's like situations where you're like, fuck this leg, and just cut it off. I grew up in the era of that guy that had no legs, as Cat Williams would call him, little Tink Tink.
Oh no.
The guy that won a medal in Olympics with no legs. I think he won a gold, but they relinquished his medals because he doesn't have fatigue in the lower half. Right, they're like, it's an unfair advantage. Right, kind of fucked up.
That's
if you allowed him
messed
to be
up.
in, and then you're like, wait, he won. And a bunch of people, I think, petitioned and ended up like...
That's not fair at all.
Nah.
Like, the poor guy doesn't have legs. Give him a freaking break, dude.
But when I'm looking, in 2011, I'm 15 years old, and then that one was like, oh, cool, it tore, we fixed it, though. You're great. Now you have a better meniscus, because I had a thing called a discoid meniscus. So he's like, now you have a better knee. It's actually a healthy, normal knee. I made it just exactly how it should be. Great. And then he calls, I'm going in there, I'm like, something doesn't feel, it's like a 6-month checkup. He's like, hey, man, it's been 6 months. It's not an ACL, like... He literally told me to my face, quit being a pussy. It's all in your head. No sooner does he say that, I'm like, all right, fuck, can't be a bitch. Go home. Within 2 weeks, I fell off my horse. So my mom was not...
That was really bad advice. Because then you just
Yeah, it was a freak accident. This was not... It was great advice. He was totally right. It was just very not bedside table, very coarse bedside table manners. And I loved it, though. That's what I needed to hear. And he knew that. And because it was about to be track season. And so it was just a perfect turn of events that my mom we just washed the horses, and you don't ever show sheen. Show sheen's like a shiny oil that you use after you wash them. You don't ever show sheen where the saddle goes because it's oil. It'll slip. So you never do that.
So who did that?
My mom. My mom did that. Well, I was crippled, right? I hadn't been riding, and I just got approved, but we washed him before I got re-signed up, like officially released. Then on top of that, it was totally not anyone's fault. You know, I knew she showed she did. It had been a few days, but on top of that, we put their winter blankets on. Winter blankets alone, they cause because they're always rubbing, and it's like a polyester, so it's always rubbing on their skin. And every time they walk, it makes them super slick. So between the oil and the slickness, because I was like, oh, it should have gone. It's rained. They had these rain things on. So we went down there to take them off and bring them up into the barn. So I go to hop on. I've got 2 horses and halters and lead rope in my hand. I go to jump onto my horse. My sister's down there. We're down the hill. It's pouring down rain. And she's on her horse already and got a couple horses in her hand. So she's got like 2 or 3 horses. I've got a couple. And I jump on, and I just slipped right off the other side. Oh, my God. I never even, it was like slipping on a banana peel, just and right to the other side. And I landed, and my knee went like this. And it just,
of course you did. That's your luck.
Yep, my leg landed like the hip to the foot, and it just blew up. And it looked like, so on top of that.
So is that how, like, it was that like the last fall you did that tore your knee?
No, I tore it one more time. But this one was very traumatic because at this point, I'm in the mud. I can't get up. That leg doesn't work. Like, it's not working.
Yeah.
Anyone that's had a meniscus tear, a big one, that is one of the most excruciating.
So who came to get you?
I figured it out.
Did you really?
So I did that, and I'm like, I can't go anywhere. I got horse hooves all over me. I've got like 5 horses around me, and the only move is to roll under my horse's belly by his feet to get where I can get on my other leg, because I can't get up on this leg. I can't get. It was my left leg, and I couldn't use that, and I needed to get up on that leg. So I let go of the other horses, and I get up. I roll under him, barrel roll. Whew, he doesn't kick me or stomp me or nothing crazy happens, and I was able to be able to put pressure on my right leg and get up, and I got back on the horse. We got home. But that was very scary moment.
Yeah,
right. Like the thing that you have to do to survive might just kill you. And everyone's, it's stormy, so everything's kind of. And then it happened, and now my sister and they all horses.
Was Brittany too far? Is that what you?
No, but she was already on a horse with multiple horses, and like things move so fast when you're dealing with animals like that.
Yeah, that's true.
And so you got to make split-second decisions to survive. And so she was yelling, I think, but the energy, horses particularly, feed off of your energy. So things immediately felt more escalated. And it could be in my head, traumatic experience. But to me, in that moment, and granted, it was very traumatic. Like, my whole knee blew up. And so the next day, like, it hurts. It's swollen and everything.
Yeah.
But he just called me a bitch, right? Like, he said, quit being a pussy.
Yeah.
And track just started.
There's a level of.
So listen, the story's not done. This is why the damage is done. Why it was so bad. So it was first week of track season. So it's like preseason. We don't have a meet for maybe a month or so. And I am I'm like a long distance for a sprint. So the 400. So for us, now I think I was going to end up being on varsity that year. I was like leading the pack for the whole team. And he's like, man, I don't know what you mean that your leg's fucked up. Like, you're looking more and more like your cousin every day. Like Emmett Coulter, he went to state in multiple events.
Wow.
Track star, and so I was like, yeah. But when I would go to school, I'd be on crutches. I couldn't fucking walk. I'd put them away, and then I'd go to track, and I'd run my ass off, and I could do it. And I think that's what fucked it up more because it was such a big tear. It was like jagged. So it was a he described it as shark teeth. He'd never seen something like that. And because of that, all the flared pieces, the joints grabbed them. So every time I opened my knee and bent my knee, I was ripping it in half, splitting it in half. And then I was sprinting, right, and doing all these runs and just ripping it in half. And I'm doing these long
So
strides.
basically, you shouldn't have done that race.
It might have been split in half a little bit, but it got like almost all the way through. So he cut out all the jaggedness, but he left the tear that was in half because he said if I had removed that, you would have 0 meniscus. So it's better that you have some tear than none. Because this is sophomore year. I'm 16 years old on my second surgery.
Right.
Or I'm not even 17 yet. I might have been. I don't know. Nope, I don't think so. And then so my third one happens. I was 18, and I just moved wrong, trying to pick up something heavy, and like was in a deep squat, but I shifted because it was already torn. And I only had about 20% left. Now I have like 5 to 10%. Nothing. I mean, you can feel it. You felt it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were serious. But the one that was the darkest time that I had to think about the most, and I had the most personal growth ever in my life, was the shoulder surgery. I had a fifth wheel.
I remember this
old
one.
shitty fifth wheel.
Yeah.
Thought I'd come out with my last surgery. I was like, all right, yeah, cool. Like I kept making plans.
Right.
And I was like, every time I thought I had control of my life and I could make a plan and like, these are my goals for the next, for the future. And this is how I'm going to take control of my life. I'd get put down and God would put me back in my place.
So why do you feel like surgeries are like the core of what defines you? Is it because like you had to put your pride away?
No, I'll get to it. I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So every time I thought I was going to take control of my life, God would put me back in my place. And he would be like, nah, you don't control this shit.
Yeah.
And every time that it was control. And maybe that's pride and ego.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's ego death. Because each one was more humiliating. Like the shoulder was the worst. Because that's when I had to ask for a lot of help.
Like everything.
A meniscus, you recover pretty quick. Like you're walking on it. You walk out of the hospital.
Yeah.
Like you're hobbling on crutches, but you're moving. And by the end of the first week, you're walking. By 3 or 4 days, you're on your leg.
Yeah.
It's in a restricted brace, but you're walking. And within 6 weeks, you're pretty much fully recovered. You can't go do extreme exercise, but you can walk, work, whatever, within 2 months. And so this one, though, I tried to rehab it before, but it wasn't working. So for months, it was like a 9-10 month full year process. And I had a lot of crazy things happen. I got brutally, like, and I wouldn't say brutally just because of situations I've, on TV and shit, and just shit I know, but I got very much fucked up by the cops and assaulted and had like a 8-month court case and almost went to trial.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I'm trying to rehab my shoulder. I have no job because I can't work because I'm on workman's comp. That got denied. It was just a compound of things.
It was just
situations
like
at the house with my parents. They said they'd help and support, but then the support kind of fell through. I lived they helped me get this free fifth wheel that was from the 80s. The door didn't even fucking shut all the way.
Who got it for you?
My parents knew someone to help.
Oh, okay.
Half the door fell off when they transported it.
Oh my God.
I had a window vent like in the bathroom. It was over my bed.
Oh Lord.
And the bed was like this bedroom. It wasn't a room. It was just the nose is the bed.
Oh God.
And like the stairs to the bed was like a little dresser thing, cabinet. It was really small.
Yeah.
And the table turned into a second bed. And the couch too. But it was all old, from super old, shitty.
Yeah.
And that would leak. And one night I woke up with it raining on me. And it was just a really dark time.
Yeah.
And I did the most personal growth. And the reason surgeries mean the most to me in my memories is because that's when I reflected. I had a lot of time to read. I had isolation.
Yeah.
And people go back, like, even if I was being taken care of, I would have to stay home. Everyone's gone to work or school, and I'm home alone. You can only watch so much TV. You can only play so many videos. You know, you cycle through all this shit, and eventually you land on, maybe I should try and read a book that actually tells me something. I had a lot of shit on my mind. I had a lot of stuff to grow through. And that's why those 4 things meant the most. I can recall all the personal growth and why I'm so far in my... From what others have said, I'm pretty wise for my age, is what I've been told. And that, if that is the case, I would give it all to the fact that I had these surgeries.
Yeah.
And that accelerated my mental growth astronomically. Because
I will definitely say, like, you definitely seemed like you used your time during surgeries in a wise way. Like, used that time to benefit you in the long run. Where, like, I just watched Disney movies when I was in surgery.
You were young though, right?
Yeah, I was in middle school, but still, you were in high school.
Right. I just got there too. I was like,
yeah.
I also,
I didn't really.
I even put myself in junior college, because I had already done welding school and went back to work.
Yeah.
And I think I was 18 or I was 19 at the time on my last one, 2015, when I got injured. And or maybe 14, who knows. Anyways, I was already out of high school and through school. I went back to junior college to do some philosophy and music, just to make sure I wasn't filling my time. I'm like, I can sit in a classroom and I can learn some shit I'm interested in. And I did some political science. And I had to drop out because my only vehicle, I wanted a motorcycle so bad, and I kept running into these situations where I get hurt.
Yeah.
And I'd be building to get that, and then I'd have to reset. So I was like, fuck it. I sold my truck for a motorcycle.
Wow.
And I was so extreme about it. It was my only wheels, and rode it all through winter. But once I had the surgery, I couldn't ride it anymore. Just glass, right? You need 2 hands. It's my throttle hand. And so I had to drop out. But it was, who cares? It was just to fill time. It wasn't to do anything. I just wanted to be proactive with
which is
learning something while I have this downtime.
Right. Which is, like, very smart. I feel like most people wouldn't do that. I didn't do it. I was just, like, fucking around, feeling sorry for myself, hating my life.
And I had a few, and maybe why the 4th one was so successful, because that's the number one most impactful thing. Granted, I have more, but the one that gave me the most growth would be that year. Yeah. And I think it's because I'd already experienced 3. And the first one was also super impactful because I had this, I was already become division champ at high jump as a junior varsity. Yeah. I was jumping 6 foot, could clear 6'1" in practice, never nailed it in a meet. And then I was on a 4x4 relay, and I had some things going on. And then, like I said, even when I was hurt, I was still excelling. And I was only getting stronger, faster, bigger. In this situation, like, I had this vision of going to college. Full ride to scholarship was like 6'2" to a D1 school at the time for track and field. Easy, right? I'm already at 6 foot. I'm like, all right, cool. By the time I'm a senior, that's done. And I was doing really well. I started team roping and shit. And, like, I had to completely change. I wanted to be a historian. I wanted to be a history teacher or something, some social science. And I was so intrigued by world history. And all of that kind of died when, like, it just fell by the wayside, because I did hit a dark time. And I had to realize, like, because the first one was like, nope, a lot of hope. Second one hit 6 months later, right? No hope. Needs destroyed. Probably need to find a desk job. That's what I was told. And so what I found to fill all that hopelessness was welding. I found welding, and I started welding on my downtime during that time. And I would do it as a hobby in the garage with horseshoes and just make art out of them. Wine racks, benches. I got more advanced. And it was pushed through welding school. but it was something that was physical enough, but not really physical, but very creative. And you building things, and it was very rewarding. And so it kind of took that sports and competitive energy, and I was able to put it into this, and I competed with myself, just like track. It's about PRs, right?
Yeah.
So each weld, oh, this is shit. Next one, oh, that's a little better. Oh,
Right.
okay. So it was a PR every time I put down a new weld.
So it gave you like something to focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it had milestones. Like there was checkpoints to make sure like
Yeah.
it rewarded effort.
Yeah.
It was not like you're on
That
a
makes
team
sense.
and everyone else sucks, but you're putting in all the effort. But if they didn't put the effort in, now you still suck. Like, no, this rewarded me just like track. If I put down this effort, I will get this reward. And it, no matter what, I could put more down. And if I'm slow and I'm not getting it yet, just keep trying. I'll get there. And that was extremely crucial.
Yeah.
And I think I got that insight from track. And that's where I first got the taste for like, I can just be my own competitor. I
Yeah.
don't need others.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
agree. So,
What about you?
what defines me?
5 memories.
Oh God, too
I only
many.
gave 4, but
I'm good. It's
just
not.
try like
it's
1
not
or 2.
about.
Let's just try. Come on.
No, I want
I
to move
rambled on for
I really
40
want to move
minutes.
on to the next question.
Okay.
For me, this question's like kind of boring.
All right. All right. We talked about what you think about this question at
Yeah.
the beginning. Fair enough.
Okay, I'm trying to see if I can find.
That was a good question.
Well, thanks.
I like it when you ask me questions like that.
Yeah,
They got to be good questions for me to want to answer them.
I know. So I'm skipping some questions just because my
totally-
anxiety brain doesn't like that. Where the questions are, yeah, okay. So here's one. Okay, I'll give you a choice. So, like, either you can answer what are 3 values that we share, what are the 3 we differ on, and then the other one is like, what did your parents teach about romantic relationships? Things you do versus don't want to do. Oh, things you want to do versus don't want to do. So what did your parents teach you about romantic relationships? Or you can answer, what are 3 values that we share and what are 3 that we differ on?
I'll go with the values. I don't want to
Okay.
get into that. I know personal people that might get offended.
Okay,
What do I
fair.
have to
Fair
say?
enough. I didn't even think about that.
Don't want to hurt any feelings. And I mean, as far as that goes, if people had anything to say about me that's negative, but that's how they truly feel, I would just think about it and reflect, and that's your opinion. I can't get offended
Right.
unless you
So what are the 3 values that we share?
values we share are faith, first of all,
Yeah, true.
Christianity, our core belief in fitness over anything.
Very important.
That's extremely important to me.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, that's how we met after all.
yeah, and the reason my dad, he was overweight and he used to work out all the time.
Are we talking about Mark or John?
both of them actually?
Okay.
But they actually went down the same path. And when I first met Mark, funny story. When I first met Mark, it was like looking at my dad. Like,
What?
I mean, granted, he was my dad, but I mean,
Right.
looking at John, because John is the man that raised me since I was a year old.
Right.
So that's dad.
Yeah.
And it looked like they like had the same receding hairline.
Oh
And I was
my
like,
God.
But come find out, Mark's wasn't receding. It was just a high.
A high widow's beak.
What do they call it?
It's a widow's
No. So this is the running joke in the family. It's a 5 head. So everyone has a 4 head, but we have a 5 head.
You have a 5 head?
Yeah, 5 head. Yeah.
Oh
It
my
has
god.
everything's thinned, but my hairline has never receded. It just fits now, right? So you're like, oh, you're bald. Yeah, your hairline's fading back. No, it's
What
not.
do I have? Do I have a 3
4
head?
head. Yeah. You got a 3 head.
I got a 3 head?
Yeah.
Is this
3.5.
it's only
like a
3 that
3.5.
covers it?
Like 2 pinkies, maybe. You could have like 4
what do you
if
mean?
you had.
My forehead is not that small.
No, if you had like 2 big middle fingers and then like 2 pinkies, it would be the 4. That one's too big.
So it's 3.
Yeah.
Oh. That's so
It's like
funny.
3.5. So, anyways, I thought that was a good inside joke, right?
Yeah,
The
it's kind of
5 head.
funny.
And everyone in my family has it. Like
Oh
all
my-
the men, at least, and they all have full head of hair. I got this shit from my grandpa on my
Even
mom's
your
side.
half brother Alex has it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, 5 head. And so that the Wells 5 head. I have no idea where I was going with that.
3 core values. You said faith and fitness, and then you started talking about your dad's 5 head.
Oh yeah. So that story. So I meet him at my graduation, my 8th grade graduation. I invited him. I just thought he deserved to know. I actually made it this far. So we do that. He comes and we're taking a picture. I'm looking at this picture later. I'm like, holy shit. He looks same build, same physique, a few inches different in height, but like not much. I'm like, damn. And they both were like worked out a lot, like meatheads when they were younger. Crazy shredded. And they just kind of gave up when they hit their 30s.
I think that's normal for dads because, like, my dad was like a serious football player, varsity player, and he did rugby too. And people who do rugby are like shredded.
Yeah.
And then,
But they're big though.
yeah, they are big.
I had a story about that.
And then now, I mean, my dad doesn't really do much cardio. He would just lift weights. And my mom's like, your dad's so stupid. Like, he's not going to lose weight just doing, like, weights. You have to do
That
cardio.
would be shit my dad did too, John.
Yeah, so
He'd be
it's
like,
like, and he's like, you see my dad. He's not the tallest man ever. He's 6'1",
Pretty tall, though.
but he's big.
Yeah.
Like a football player big. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just a dad thing.
Well, and all big dudes, like,
Or just a big
I don't know.
dude
There
thing.
wasn't like that working out back then. There was no Google. There was no way to find out about
Yeah.
diets. None of our your dad might. And I mean, I don't know. It just was like they had other shit going on. They didn't
Yeah.
have time to read
Yeah.
books. We can watch a video and be like, "Oh, this is a great this diet. Let's try that. Oh, that works. Yeah, this guy did it. Oh, comments. Oh, these people have done it. Oh, look at that. 1,000 people say it's worked. Oh, cool. Easy. All in a minute. We can find that out.
Right.
They had to go to the library or find a bookstore, buy a book, read the whole 300 pages. Oh, this is all bullshit. Try another fucking book. Maybe they knew a friend that knew about a book, but there was no way to find YouTube or
It's like
reviews or anything that tells you this is a crock of shit.
Isn't it like hard to fathom the fact that
It'd be very discouraging too.
like we know all this, like we know what works and what doesn't work, and there's always like new like lies that pops up on Instagram. Oh, did you know cardio really doesn't make you lose weight? Which is obviously bullshit. Like
It is primarily diet, but cardio makes a big fucking difference.
but they're saying you don't need to do cardio at all.
it makes a huge difference.
That's not true. Don't
Not
tell
true at all.
people that.
Not at all true.
So, and it's like we know all this stuff about working out, and then like it's hard to understand how our parents didn't know.
Well, I understand how. The internet.
Right, but isn't it like
They had, you know what they
can't
had
even
back
imagine?
then? You know what they
Let me
had?
finish.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is like it's hard to understand that because we don't know what that's like.
Well, you're going to understand when I say this.
Okay.
You remember those late night or midday fitness shows?
Sure.
That's what they had pushed on them.
I don't remember those days.
You don't?
I didn't
Like
know
with the stock, and they'd all be doing like cardio.
Yeah,
like,
but I didn't know there were like midday or like late night.
That's usually when they came on. You know?
Oh, okay.
Stay-at-home moms
I thought
and
you
shit.
can just put it on whenever. Like
Well, you
it's like a
could buy
videotape, like
you
a
could do that.
VHS.
No, it was on TV.
Oh, okay.
You can buy that, but it was also on TV. And so that was the type of shit that was pushed. You're like, unless you're just...
Yeah, I did know that,
gym
but I didn't
rat.
know like what time they were on. But yeah,
And, yeah, I mean, it is hard to relate, obviously.
yeah,
But I think that's a little way of like, okay, this is what, at least in the media, this was pushed. The media today, at least the media... And see, like, media today is an interesting concept. Because you can get so wormholed into a little niche group. Like, I really only listen to, like, 5 different shows, podcasts primarily. And granted, they're all genuine and have a bunch of different guests that bring a lot of variety.
Yeah.
But all very educated, vetted people that you can trust what they're saying, and you can go back it up on reading shit about it if you don't trust them. And it's like so much more transparent.
Yeah.
It's easier. But also, there's probably a whole nother, there's like 4 million podcasts out there. There's so many, and that's just podcasts. You got audiobooks, you got millions of audiobooks, all kinds of stuff that you can get at the touch of your phone. And news outlets and YouTube algorithms and all these different algorithms on Facebook. And you can end up in this area where you only learn about things that you think, like, you might have given it enough energy in a year, and then it kept repeating that. And so now you're stuck in this circle of concepts and ideas. And thank God that for me and for you, a lot of fitness shit is in that algorithm for us.
Yeah.
So it pushes, I get prompted by seeing people that are excelling at fitness. Like, it's motivating.
And like the best thing about fitness is like
hearing about health.
What's that?
Like, listening to people talking about health and diets and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like listening to anyone talk about anything because I just don't have the attention span for that. Like, I'd rather read it or like watch it on TV on a documentary where I can get, my brain needs to see something to connect it.
I got you.
So like I have to like either watch like a documentary about health. Like I really love those like series on Netflix called Explained. And
yeah, those are cool.
Oh, they're the best. And they're short too. So it's like I can watch like multiple of them. So, and I even get my notebook out and start writing like fun facts I learned because I'm that much of a nerd when I want to learn something. But the best thing, what I was going to say, the best thing about fitness, and my dad taught me this, is like sometimes in fitness you hit a plateau. And you have to adjust what you're doing. Like, okay, this was working. Now it's not working. Now what do I need to do? Like, like, why is this not working anymore? Oh, maybe my body's too used to it now. It stopped growing. Like, I need to change it up so my body keeps not getting used to it.
Kettlebells is a cool one for that too.
Yeah, or like maybe you need to alter your diet again. Like, it was always like a puzzle you had to figure out, which is what I really enjoyed about fitness and health, is because it was never the same all the time. Like, it can be the same for a while, but then you're like, oh shit, plateau. Now I need to adjust what I'm doing.
What someone said it to. Everything you're saying, I agree with.
Yeah.
And someone said it to me like this, or I heard it somewhere. But your body is a vehicle.
Yeah.
You have more living organisms in your gut than you do in all cells in your body. Like, you're just a vessel, and you're your own ecosystem. Like, so a vehicle, right? Need an oil change.
Yeah.
Need to make sure that you got spark plugs are current. Your tires are balanced so the suspension doesn't get wore out. You got to make sure that you rotate your tires regularly so they evenly wear, and then they don't wear out other parts. Make sure your joints are greased, whatever it needs to be. Well, you have joints. You have things. We all have this shit that we have to treat ourselves. If you own a Porsche, you're not going to go take it off-roading.
No.
You got to treat your body like a Porsche.
Yeah.
My problem when I grew up in the surgeries and all this, I acted like it was a car I got for $500. I thought I was invincible, right? I was a young man full of testosterone just going nuts. I should have been treating it, especially after first or second surgery.
Well,
like I was
definitely agree.
Driving a Porsche. Yeah, I should have acted like. And when they said that to me, I totally changed the way I did everything.
Yeah. Sometimes it just takes like somebody explaining you the correct way for it to click.
Yeah, and it changed everything.
Yeah. So what's the third value?
I answered all. Third value?
You only said two.
What I said, okay.
You said our faith and health and fitness. So what's the third one?
I don't know, but
okay. So you
the way I know the differences, I have a few differences. Okay. The way we were raised, huge difference.
Yeah, super different.
And because of that, it creates a.
Is that a value though? The way we're raised, is that a value?
Listen.
Okay.
Because of that, it creates a different value. For how we value life. I have a far deeper connection to the life around me than you do, and you not the life around me, but the where I get my food. I'm connected to the things that feed me. You're becoming that way by living with me.
Yeah.
But that's something that when you moved in with me, I became very aware that you're not aware of how connected to the life.
I never grew up on a farm, obviously, where okay, so here's a perfect example how culture shock this was for me. So, I had a second cousin that lived like somewhere way in the middle of nowhere in Minnesota. My dad took me there because I don't know why. We were just hanging out at her farm one day. And then I saw a chicken coop and I was like, ew. This is where my eggs come from. There's like dead chickens everywhere. And that was like part of the reason why I went vegetarian. Because I was like, this is so disgusting. I cannot believe I've been eating eggs that come from this type of environment. And like it smelled in there. They were dead. Some were running around like they're getting murdered.
Dead. Chickens were dead chickens?
There were dead chickens laying on the ground in this massive like shed. It wasn't even.
You definitely shouldn't leave them in there.
It was a warehouse. It was so big.
Shit.
And there
Where was this at?
Somewhere in Minnesota, like somewhere in the middle of nowhere, like in the country of Minnesota. And it's just like, oh my God, this is so gross. But then she had this really high hay pile and a rope. So you ride the rope and you like drop yourself in the hay pile.
That's fun.
I know. And I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like, can I live on a farm? Like, minus like the gross chicken thing. Like, and my dad's like, well, there's no point of having a farm if you're not going to raise animals for food. And I'm like, okay, never mind. Maybe this is not for me. But and then she had pigs, and I was like, oh my God, these cute little adorable pigs, like so cute. And
that's forever why you didn't want to eat pork anymore.
That's just one of my encounters with pigs. And then, it was an experience. She gave me like a tour around the entire thing, and I was just like,
that's cool.
I can't eat this anymore.
Uh-huh.
I was like young, so I was like at the age where you're still a kid, like 12, 13.
Mm-hmm. It's something that you need to be exposed to young.
And then, so ever since, like, because of that experience, I went vegetarian and I started watching videos, like how animals are treated, and it convinced me even more. And then my dad made me try every single meat ever, and I just didn't like anything except for duck. And he's like, oh, of course you like the most expensive thing on the menu. Like,
it would add that. Yep, that adds up.
So
sounds about right.
He's like, well, we can't eat duck every day. And I was like, well, then I'm not eating meat. I guess I'm just gonna go vegetarian. He's like, why is it always all or nothing with you?
Yeah. Maybe I should have talked to him first. It is all or nothing with you.
I just know what I want. If it's not that, I really don't want it that bad.
Oh my God.
It's not the bad.
Good for me, right?
It's not a bad thing, because when Christmas comes, if I want something and it's not in store, just forget it. Don't buy it.
I have like a fake website. Be like, look, they're sold out. You won't check. You'll believe me.
I won't check. I'll be like, okay, whatever. I'm like, well, there's this other thing I want, though. Maybe they have that.
Oh, my God. I'm like, nope. Let me check. I'll check on it tomorrow. Call my guy and be like, bro, make sure this is empty, right? Like, yeah, that one's gone, too. Fuck, man. Waited 12 hours. It disappeared in 12 hours. How was I supposed to know?
Oh, that'd be so funny. And then my dad hated that I did that. He'd be like, why is it always like it has to be this or nothing? I'm like, cause like I don't want any other like he was trying to buy me a computer one year, and I was like, I literally just want this computer. Like, if it's not this one, I don't really want it. Like,
I mean, that's where I'm at right now. Like, I need this or I don't need it.
Yeah. So when it comes to stuff like computers and stuff, like, it really does matter which one you get. And then I needed it for school, and it wasn't like I just wanted a computer.
Right, you need this.
Yeah. And
for school.
And it was like,
you need a certain level of quality.
Exactly. And then he got me a refurbished old school Mac, like one of the very first laptops that Mac has ever came out with.
I remember.
And I couldn't even use it I didn't even use it. I used it to like upload like photos and stuff, but that was it because like I said, there is a reason why I want what I want or forget it. Like you give me this other computer, what am I going to use? What am I going to do with this? It doesn't have what I need for it to do what I need to do. And I think it's because my dad's from a... Oh my God, sorry.
Bless you.
Thanks. And I think he's from a different generation. He doesn't really understand that. He just understands deals.
That on the ground.
He just doesn't understand deals. Oh, it's refurbished. It was cheaper.
The ground, babe.
And it's like, okay, like great. You paid less for it.
But it's way shittier, bro. Did you look at any of the stats? Because it is kind of a piece of shit.
Right.
It's just outdated technology, especially like that time technology was moving fast.
Oh, yeah, it was.
It's kind of slowed down a little bit.
A little bit, but I think it was moving fast then because they were just kind of getting it going.
Yeah.
So they were constantly like working on it, trying to figure out how to get it better and better and better. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyway, so that's me. I mean, I grew up way different than you for sure. And I don't think it's like necessarily a bad thing. We grew up differently.
I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a different perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
I've learned a lot from you and your different way of like growing up. And like, you know, it's just, once you went home, you understood a lot more too.
I did.
Went to Red Bluff?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like what you're talking about, Red Bluff. I mean... I understood more like you, not necessarily like your lifestyle.
Yeah, but you got me.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like a lot of that defines my character.
Yeah, for sure.
And personality and the way I view the world. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So, what are the other differs of values that we have?
Level of anxiety carried throughout a day. Whether that's a value or not, but a value, I think, like one of my attributes is the fact that I can like stay very calm in not calming situations.
Yeah, I don't think that's a value because my anxiety is not a value I hold.
But I work on it. That's why I was like put it in maybe in a different category. It's not a value, but it's like something I work on.
What are you trying to say? I don't work on my anxiety?
No, you do. You do. It's not a value. I don't know. Okay. I don't know if there's any difference in.
Do you think like that's the only one we differ on? Is our upbringing?
Yeah, I had 3 total. There's like 2 that we, like the biggest 2 that are like very important. Mm-hmm. And then I mean we didn't really carry the same value on children until recently. Like you didn't want kids, I wanted kids.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's very true.
That's a difference.
Yeah.
You changed though and became a similar value. Sometimes concern, like not really, but we kind of want to raise our kids in the same way. I'm sure there's like some certain things, like because me having a lot more freedom as a child and a lot more. Not that my parents went around to watch me; I was always being watched. Mm-hmm. But I had a lot of reign. I had a lot of free reign, a lot of leash. You know what I mean?
Right.
I could run far. And go, and I had a lot of land that was like safe. Mm-hmm. So I have a certain level of independence that I would like for my child, but I don't know if. And you have this level of concern, which is healthy, because I'm not familiar with that. I'm probably a little naive in the city department.
Yeah.
And as far as like where we currently are, I'm in the country. Yeah, this is more my area. Yeah. But we go to cities a lot, and that I need someone that's more knowledgeable in that. Granted, like, I've lived in cities for like 5 years now. Here's like
perfect example. If like these roads here had sidewalks or like something for her to ride her bike down on by herself, I would totally let her do it. But the problem is there's no safe place for her to ride her bike.
And see, that's where we differ. Like, for example, this is a perfect example because I grew up on a highway just like this. And it was the same speed limit and everything. And you became a better person. You became aware. You instilled the values of, look, they don't care about you. You need to be aware of, you need to be on alert at all times. If you hear any noises, you need to be ready. You need to be off the road. Mm-hmm. You need to drive in the opposite lane. Now, by law in the cities, you drive in the same lane.
Right.
Not in the country. You and you see that car coming at you, you get off the road.
I didn't
Super
know that.
fucking simple.
Yeah.
You see him coming, you can see him a mile away. Get off the road, wait.
Huh. See, I didn't know that.
So the only time you're gonna get hit is if you have a drunk driver or something that wrecks his car and swerves over both lanes, which is so rare. I mean, as long as you're in the other lane. It's
not really that rare. It's probably just not always broadcast. Like,
it's pretty rare. I mean, people die every day, but it's not every day.
Maybe in the country it's rare, but I don't think it's that rare.
That someone gets struck by a drunk driver?
Yeah, no, I really don't think it's rare.
On the opposite lane?
I don't know what lane they're in, but it's just
That's what I'm saying. If you're in the opposite lane.
I don't know. That's making my brain like have a short circuit because I don't know. Like, I'm not paying attention to details that close.
All I'm saying is the odds are a lot higher that you're going to be okay when you do that the right way and you educate them. There is a way to take risks safely. That's
I guess, but I'm still not cool with it. Like, regardless of how many valid points you make, it really doesn't matter to me. It's like my mom mode is still like,
and that's where we differ. That's
Yeah.
another value we differ on.
Yeah, it's just like, no. Like, okay, if she's on the sidewalk, whatever. But if she falls off, am I going to run or be like, oh my God.
It's not even legal to ride a bike on the sidewalk.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Well, in suburbia it is.
Not in the city.
Well, we're not in a city or a country or suburbia. So, look, can I just finish my thought?
Yeah.
Forget it. Next question. I don't like being interrupted. It makes me slightly irritated.
Sorry. I'm bad at interrupting people.
So anyways, when have you felt the most deeply connected in our relationship?
Now, with the baby on the way.
Really?
Being married. Yeah.
You feel more connected because we're having a baby?
Well, yeah. Our DNA is literally connected.
True.
What is more of watching my actions change you as a person every day?
Your actions.
Yeah, exactly. A direct result of my actions. And I just get to sit here and watch. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and then being married is, nothing's different.
Yeah.
But it's all different.
Yeah.
And
I get what you're saying.
Way deeper because nothing's changed. We lived in different house, but same lifestyle, same. Everything's the same. You're the same, doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Cook a little more now. That's cool. And you're better cook. But that just comes with years.
Oh, you said I cook a little bit more now?
Yeah, and you're better at it. But that just comes with practice.
Yeah.
But everything that we do for each other is the same. We carry the same weight we've been carrying. And but for some reason it is different. I mean, for one, you have my name, and two, there's just something when I said those vows, it just changed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It like instantly in that moment.
Yeah, brought me to tears.
Yeah, same.
I love you.
I love you too. Okay,
Yeah.
so okay, this is an interesting question. How can you tell when I need your support or that I'm struggling? Can you tell?
Yeah, your anxiety.
Really?
Yeah. I think I can tell before you know sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's true, actually.
I can't always talk to you about it though. Sometimes you just need to go. You need to just run it out.
Yeah, it's true.
You can't run or work out, so you just like. Ah!
Yeah.
It's way worse now than it ever has been.
Yeah, because physical activity has always been my outlet for. If I'm like stressed about something, I would just go punch it out at Muay Thai.
Right.
And then when I'm done, I'm like, I don't even know why I was so upset about that. Life is great.
You do martial arts. There's no room for any kind of aggression or anger or anxiety. You're just like, I'm so tired.
Right?
You're like, I'm dead. I got choked out 5 times tonight. Like
it's very rare that I would go to Muay Thai and I'm like mad afterwards. Like it happened maybe a total of 2 times all the time, all the years I've done Muay Thai, I probably left the gym still pissed twice.
Damn, what caused you to be that mad?
Oh, DAD.
Yeah.
My father.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep. But other than that, I always was able to go to the gym, punch it out, and I feel so good afterwards. I feel like a bad bitch because I do mixed martial arts, and I can knock anyone out. Well, almost anyone. Maybe if a guy's like 7 feet, like 300 pounds, maybe not. But like,
just having a little bit of training though. Anybody, any geek off the street, you can fuck them up.
Yeah, that's true.
But the thing is dangerous today is that a lot of geeks off the street, a lot of nerds, fucking little nerd assassins out there.
Nerd assassins.
Sitting at their tech job and fucking selling insurance that could choke out anybody.
That's funny. I never thought about nerds like that.
Yeah, they're little jujitsu nerds. They use all that smartness and like make up new shit to do on the mat, and they get way good at it. They're like, oh, it's a puzzle. I'm good at that. Which is cool. I'm just talking shit and making jokes. Super cool though. And they're out there.
Right.
And so you could think this guy don't know shit. Next thing you know, you're like, I tap, my arm don't break it.
Excuse me.
But,
yeah, that's funny.
what else you got?
So
what about you?
Yeah, I can tell like instantly, and then like the other day, I'm like, what happened? And you're like, nothing, I'm just tired. I'm like, yeah, why are you lying to me? And you're like, really, everything's fine. And you get more mad. Like, when I know you're not telling the truth and I keep asking you, like, what's wrong, you get more irritated when you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I do.
And then later, and I just have to give, I'm like, fine, whatever. I'm glad your day was great. Like, and then later, like, maybe like 5, 10, 15 minutes, you're like, look at this shit. This is so fucked up. Like, you.
Yeah. Once I understand what it is, the thing is, I don't have a grip. I'm pissed as I'm going. I'm going through it, like that particular situation.
You were going through it in your brain?
No, it was hitting me. It's like right when you saw it is when I found out. So I hadn't even processed. I don't even know what to tell you at the moment. I'm like, I don't know. Just hang on.
Yeah.
And you keep asking, like, I don't know. I will tell you when I know.
Well, that's why after you got like snappy from me keep asking, I was like, whatever. He'll tell me when he's ready.
Yeah, and then I had all the information, and I made sure nothing had happened.
And then you told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it's not even like, sometimes I don't even know. And next thing you know, I'm like, I don't know, this seemed to be bothering me.
Sometimes you don't know until like a couple days later. And then you're like,
so weird.
Well, sometimes it does take time to figure out why you're mad.
It's like,
I mean, that doesn't happen to me that often, but it has happened.
I don't get... Is there a difference between being mad and being upset?
Yes, my dad will agree there is a difference.
Because I don't think I get mad.
He says mad is the bad one and angry is temporary. He says mad... Okay, let's just Google it.
I would say... I think those are pretty similar.
I think so
Anger
too.
and mad. Anger makes you... I was saying...
mad means very angry.
Yeah, exactly.
And then what is angry? Feeling or showing strong annoyance, displeasure, or hostile, full of anger. An angry customer.
See, that's someone that's like an outburst or something, like anger. Like, I would consider myself someone that gets upset.
Okay, so let's look at the definition of upset.
If I do get angry, it's never towards people. It's always situations.
Like,
you know what I mean?
There's so many words to express like the same emotion. Mm-hmm. Okay, make someone unhappy, disappointed, or worried. Okay, yeah. So upset is just like more of a temporary feeling.
Situations that make me upset.
Yeah.
Can it be expressed as anger and a lot of frustration?
Yeah.
But it's because it's a situation usually out of my control or something that has happened that is causing anxiety, that like a future is uncertain or whatnot, especially in my industry, and that can cause a level of upset. But to me, I've seen angry people growing up. I was raised around them. Angry people hold resentment.
Old people do?
angry.
Oh, they hold.
I would consider someone that gets angry a lot, someone that gets like mad, also can hold resentment, but also can just be a hair trigger, like yell at you for no reason. You're like,
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, dude, I just, someone you're scared to tell the truth to.
Yeah.
That's a mad person. That's an angry person. You're like, oh, I can't tell him because he'll fucking freak out. Like, that's someone that gets mad. You should be able to be upset and express that frustration, but also be able to absorb the information.
Right.
I'm like, man, and then later, process it. Like I did process the information.
Yeah.
I don't want to get upset if it's something that I can figure out and, I got upset over nothing. And it helps to say, don't waste that energy. Mm-hmm. So it's like a conservation of your thoughts and energy, but also that's like something I tell them, you don't have time for that. Don't worry. Don't waste your time on being angry. Being angry only hurts the person that's angry. No one else knows you are angry.
Right.
Only you. And now whoever made you angry, if they did it intentionally, they're winning.
Right.
And
you tell me that, and it actually has helped me a lot. Because I'm like, oh yeah, like Dylan says, like I'm only hurting myself if I stay mad. So what am I doing here, wasting my time?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
You could be doing so much more with those thoughts.
Right. So.
Well, I would love to continue this, but because of the whole phone situation and everything, we don't have any more space on the memory card. We're going to have to wrap this shit up. And because of your great questions, I didn't get very far in my build either.
Finally.
Which is cool. Yeah, for once, right?
Finally, I got him to be
I think it was
focused.
I think it was more pieces than, granted it's a mock, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I seem like I got pretty far, but not nearly
as far as you normally would.
As far as I hope to.
But it's also not a box build. It's
I enjoyed the conversation. The point being that it was nice that I actually was so into the conversation. I put this shit aside and then just had that conversation.
Yeah.
Thanks for the questions.
Of course.
I really enjoyed it. I love doing these with you.
I love doing it with you too.
It's cool to have. Last week was really cool to have Duncan on, and I enjoyed having guests that I don't know.
Right.
Not even like, oh, we're friends. No, guests I don't know.
Right.
That was cool because we're just coworkers, so we knew each other a little bit, but I don't know his story.
Right. Like you don't know his life.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know him anywhere but this job and that he has a kid and stuff. And so it was cool to learn, and I want to do a lot more of those. Those are really fun, but it's nice to stick to the core of doing it with you. Yeah. It made me realize that these are different than those, and I like having both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next week.